Happy Sunday, everyone! I finished my sketchbook yesterday, and so I figured that I would share the other half of it with you since you seem to enjoy my first sketchbook share so much. Somebody just requested that I share my sketchbook, and I didn't really know what to do, and I just went through the pages, and it's my most liked video, so I'm gonna do what you like. So I figured I will, every half of a sketchbook, so it doesn't take too long, I'll go through and I'll share a little bit of it. But I just finished this one, so I'm gonna show you the other half of it, that it's done. I wanted to do more for you this weekend, but I don't feel very well. I'm sorry. But I have to go to bed in a couple of hours for work, and I'm feeling very icky. So this is nice and easy for me to do, and you guys seem to like this anyway. But there's one more week until I do my giveaway for my 500 subscribers, and I'm gonna post the link for that, and so you can check out that video if you're interested in the giveaway. Still a week. I think I'm gonna pick a winner on Friday, and so Saturday I will mail you your skelecorn that I made for the giveaway. But yeah, let's take a look at the sketchbook. So for those of you who remember the last page of my sketchbook that I left off on my previous sketch share, which I will leave a link to somewhere around here, with Steve in my Avengers series. And oh my gosh, this is so old now. This seems so old, but it's really not. And oh my goodness, we're just gonna go right into it. So this is an art trade that I did with Paul Caprio. If you have never seen his art, please check him out. I went to school with him, and we were both in the illustration program, and he had randomly Snapchatted me while I was drawing and was like, hey, we should do, oh, you know, you should draw Thanos or whatever. And I'm like, that's probably not gonna happen, because I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is my favorite Marvel movie, but I would have never drawn Thanos. But he said, I'll draw you Star-Lord if you draw Thanos. So it turned into like an art trade, and originally it was just supposed to be a sketch trade, and then I was like, oh, well, I have to ink it. And then of course Paul freaking turned it into this big detailed Star-Lord piece, full body, that he did, and then he colored it, and then he sent it to me. So I will have to color Thanos and then send it to him eventually. But it turned out to be really fun and a great challenge, because I would have never drawn Thanos otherwise. This is a little sketch of myself one night when I didn't really know what to do, and I just kind of drew myself in what I was wearing that day. I felt very hobo-ish, and oddly enough, I really don't like this, but this is one of my most liked things on Instagram and Tumblr, and I just do not understand. So it's just another thing that just goes to show that it's really not about your own personal preference and to post things even if you don't like them, because you never know what everyone else is going to like. I don't know, but it is indicative of the style that I'm trying to sink myself into as far as the brush pen and then the undersketch is concerned. So I kind of like my facial features that I have going on here, and I really hope it doesn't come off as incredibly vain when I do practice sketches of myself, because the reason why I do that is if I do it of myself, number one, I know my features better than anyone else. Number two, if I make myself look like a butt, then I'm not gonna make anybody upset. Anyways, this was for Sketch Dailies, and it was for Totoro, and I've actually never seen the Totoro movie, which is weird. There's a lot of Miyazaki films that I haven't seen yet, but I do love it, and I love the style. And I did my own style take on it, and he kind of ended up turning out really creepy looking, but I really like him, and I think a lot of other people did too. But I like doing Sketch Dailies because they have really good prompts, and they're really good for like no-brainer thinking. Like, you don't think about it like it's boom, it's usually like a pop culture thing that everyone likes, and it's really good practice. So if you don't know what Sketch Dailies is, you can follow them on Instagram or Twitter, and every week they'll usually have a theme, and then every day, Monday through Friday, they post a picture, they tell you what the theme is, and then you post your drawing or your sketch, whatever it is you do, and you tag them on Twitter, and you can tag it on Instagram, but they will sometimes like it or repost it on Twitter. This is a sketch of Mermaidens. I did a sketch of her earlier in the book when I had tried to go outside and draw, and then I wanted to do a better one of her, and this one did come out much better. I did this with the Prismacolor Kohl Erase Color pencils, and she's a very lovely blogger for fashion blogging, and she has a lot of beautiful pastel inspirational things on her page. This I tried to do like a sketches for shoutouts thing, which I didn't end up getting a whole lot of, and I completely understand. It was the first time I ever did it, but it was a bunch of fun and perfect practice for me. This is actually of my friend Karen and her octopus tattoo, but I kind of like improvised and like made the octopus all lively and stuff, and yeah. I liked it so much that I ended up inking it and used it for like a ink practice. But I did a couple of these, and these are lovely people from Instagram who reposted my artwork, and I did a sketch of them, so that was fun and it was a lot of great practice. This is my Raptor Squad patch that I did, which is a little illustration that I did for the fun of it, and I turned it into a patch, and then somebody on Store Envy requested that I make a sticker of it. So I have a couple of stickers and I have a couple of patches left up in my Store Envy if anybody would like them. But I also tried out the Staedtler fine liners on this piece, and my video is in my video section if you guys would like to see that. But I still like it, and I really like the washes that I came up with this, and the layering is really nice, and I had a lot of fun with that. Even if he doesn't look at all like any of the raptors in the movie. This is another girl from Instagram that did a sketches for shout out one, and I really like this style. She had a really cool necklace going on. I forget what her name was, but she was also really lovely, really pretty, very sweet. Everyone has been very sweet to me, and I'm very grateful of that. This is Furiosa from Mad Max, and if you haven't seen Mad Max yet, excuse me, but please go see it. It's very fantastic. I loved that movie so much, and of course there's a reason why all the artists and all the social medias are drawing Furiosa. So if you would like to see what that reason is, I implore you to go see the movie. But I wanted to make this really messy and gritty, and just I think that came across really well. And I didn't really use a reference for her, so I think I could have done a little better job, but I still think she came out really well, and I'm very happy with this. I'm going to be making prints of her, I think, to sell at Big Bang Bazaar, and then this original is for sale up in my shop too, even though I'm in love with her, but I have to pay the bills. So, of course, I obviously did Max as well, and having tackled Furiosa first and figuring out what sort of approach I wanted to do for these messy, gritty pieces, I think he came out a little bit better because I had gotten practice with Furiosa, but I just love the layering and the textures that I got with these, and I just, you guys know I'm a texture fool, but it's my absolute favorite, and I just, I will also be making prints of him, and the original is also for sale, but oh my goodness, this is my favorite stuff. But I really like this style. You can see that I'm kind of finding a really cool nitty-gritty feel with the brush pen. And here's the sketch that I did for my Meet the Artist video. This was a lot of fun, and I actually still really like this piece. Meet the Artist was a little meme that was going around on Instagram, and then Sketch Dailies did it, so I was like, I think first it was, you did this if somebody tagged you, and I was like, oh my god, somebody do it and tag me, and then finally Sketch Dailies did it, and I was like, yes, finally, now I could just do it. I'm so silly. I was just gonna do it by myself with no one having tagged me and be that weirdo that's like, I'm gonna be included and I'm just gonna include myself in on this. But yeah, it's a really fun thing to do. Sketch Dailies has a lot of fun prompts, and I really liked the little pastel colors that I chose with this, and the sketchy undertones that I left with it, and I think it's one of my more successful videos that I made too, and I had a lot of fun with it. This was another Sketch Dailies prompt. This is Madeline. It's a show that I watched on numerous occasions when I was a young girl, and I had a little doll, and Madeline was just an awesome show. And then when they prompted her for Sketch Dailies, I had to draw her, and I no, she doesn't look like a little girl, but I was trying to stylize her. I was just playing with it. That's another thing that's cool, is like the subject matter is pop culture and you can have fun with it, and just so you can experiment, and that's what I did. I think I actually sketched her out while I was at Chili's with my dad and my brothers, and then I painted her when we got home. But definitely a learning experience and a lot of fun. This is a fake little Polaroid that I made for my character's reference sheet. This is Effanier, and this is Ursula Decay's character Oliver, and they're buddies. And Ursula Decay, or Ari, has a cool idea for her reference sheets. Like, she includes like a Polaroid in there, or sometimes several Polaroids with her characters interacting, and I just thought that was so cool. I'm like, do you mind if I include a Polaroid on Zeffie's reference? And she's like, no, not at all. So this is Zeffie and Oliver messing around, and I included that on his reference, and this was a whole lot of fun to make. I don't know why, to me, Oliver didn't come out as good as I wanted him to. I don't know what happened. I think I messed up his eyes. I think they're a little bit too close together, or they're too big, and I'm a little upset because the rest of the piece, I put a lot of time into it with my layering and the pencils, and I think if his eyes were fixed, this would be so much better. But c'est la vie. This I sketched while I was watching Torianne and Avo from Love Teacup Kisses doing their draw venture at the beginning of the month. They are some of my favorite artists, and I'm proud and pleased to say that Tori is a very good friend of mine, and these ladies are just, they're just lovely. They have fantastic art. If you aren't watching them, I highly suggest you go check them out, and they're really inspirational, and so I just did cute little caricatures of them. This actually, unfortunately, looks nothing like them because for whatever reason I gave them really big eyes, and I think I tend to do that with a lot of my drawings. Like, I give everything really big eyes, and I'm trying to veer away from that, even though that's part of like my style. I don't know, I'm trying to pick and choose and just be wary of that. I'm really happy with like still the style of the sketches and whatnot that I did, so you know, learning process and the layering is a lot of fun. This was something that I found on Instagram called the Daily Color Block Challenge. Now, normally I am not an advocate for like color blocking, and this was mostly done, everybody else was doing this digitally. Oh, my hands look really gross. I'm sorry. I did inking, of course, before this. But everybody else was doing this digitally, and I'm, as you know, an advocate for traditional, so I'm like, I'm gonna do this traditionally. And you're supposed to draw yourself in like outfits, and I didn't remember what I wore that week, so I just went through pictures that I had of myself, and I apparently wear a lot of black and red. But yeah, so that's me, and that's pretty much my everyday when I'm not at work or out in the human world. And you know what, it's actually usually me when I'm out in the human world. I have booty shorts on and a big Iron Man shirt and a cup of coffee, and my dog is just generally displeased with life. But yeah, so it was a fun little thing to try and find colors and work with colors and flats and shapes instead of lines, but it was a good challenge and I had a lot of fun with it. This was, I was just drawing and I didn't know what to do, so I drew Ariel. Disney's one of my favorite things, but surprisingly enough, I don't have a whole lot of Disney fan art. So I was like, oh, I'll draw Ariel, and she came out better than I thought she originally would. I'm not incredibly in love with it. I think I was experimenting a little with minimalistic backgrounds and foregrounds and whatnot, and just, you know, I was just experimenting. And I also used the Faber-Castell brush pen for this because I hadn't used that in a while, so that's what I wanted to try out too, and just textures, and the colors are really nice and they mesh well, but I'm not incredibly in love with it. This is just a sketch page where I didn't really know what to do, so I was just, there's a couple of ideas for like thumbnails and stuff here, and then I didn't know what to sketch one night, so I was just like, I just am gonna sketch just to make myself sketch. So nothing incredible on here, but I made myself sketch, and that's what matters. And then I went back to this and used the extra space for thumbnails or trying to figure out a layout. This is a Splatoon girl. Now, I want Splatoon so bad. Ari told me about it, a month or so ago, and you of course need a Wii for it, and I do not have money for that, nor do I really want to get a Wii, but damn it, Nintendo, just make a freaking original game for the first time in 15 years, and I have to have it, so I will be getting Splatoon. But in the meantime, to tide myself over, I made myself a Splatoon girl, and I had a lot of fun with this. I lined her in some Stadlers, and I did, I picked a really simple color palette and just a few outline colors to work with, and it pulled together really well, and I'm really happy with this. I think I should it's another style that I found that I like, and I will figure out what works best with it. I think more simplistic things with minimal color palettes and not a whole lot of detail, but things that work well. And that's just, this is what a sketchbook is for, finding things that work well and what you enjoy, and not really taking anything too seriously. This is, as you know, from one of my sketch chats, Doodling Dinos. I still don't know what the hell's wrong with this T-Rex. Oh, you know what? I think I know what's wrong. The T-Rexes actually have like a bigger, more square, bulky head shape. Like it should be more triangular, and I kind of like dipped her down. But that's okay, this is a sketch. As you can see, it looks like crap, and then it gets to okay when it gets to be on the third dinosaur. But it's just a sketchbook, and we're just sketching and not taking things too seriously. This is my first pass at a Crash Bandicoot sketch. I got Crash Bandicoot #1 on the PlayStation Network to play with my brothers. I do have the original Crash Bandicoot, or I did at least, and for the PS1, because he was my favorite game growing up. He was one of my first games that my father got for me when I got my PlayStation at 7 years old. And I was like, oh, I'm feeling nostalgic, I gotta draw him. And I tried to make him like action-y / I guess comic book-esque. And I don't, while like I'm trying to like make not everything so flat and give it like some dynamic posing, but, and like I threw in some Wampa fruits and some plants, and I'm like trying to bring your eye around here. And I really like his shoes and the motion here, but his body gets really weird. And my dad and my brother said that he seemed a lot more happier and goofier, and I agreed, and they thought that I could do it better. So I eventually redid him, and we'll get to him. This is a Michonne that I'm actually slowly but surely working on. I was originally going to do her in a limited color palette challenge, but then when I was doing a bunch of challenges and I got really burnt out, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. So then I just lined her, and I am gonna color her in, and I meant to color her in a while ago, but as I told you this weekend, I haven't been feeling very well, and I'm really upset because I was excited to get a lot of artwork done this weekend, and body ailments have prevented me from doing such, and I'm not happy about that. But I managed to ink her, and I'm really happy with how she is coming out, and I can't wait to finish her. Never you mind this texture. I totally did that on purpose, and yeah, that will look okay. Don't you worry about that. I did it on purpose. As Bob Ross says, we don't make mistakes, we make happy accidents. But yeah, I really like where I'm getting to with this brush pen style that I'm finding, and it's making me really happy. This is the beginning of a monochromatic challenge that somebody started on Instagram. I'm so sorry. I think it's MT Kara started this. If I butchered your name, I'm so sorry if I got it incorrect. But in an attempt to try doing more original artwork, I was like, okay, I can't do a fan art for this. So I did like a male Naga, and I gave him like Maleficent horns because I really wanted Maleficent horns. And I like how his hair came out more than anything else, and the texture on his scales. So that was a lot of fun. And then I drew a Harley because Suicide Squad's coming out, and the Joker and Harley are some of my favorite characters in DC, but I am not happy with how they're being depicted in Suicide Squad, and I don't want to get a rant on that. But here's a Harley as I think she could be better depicted. And once again, happy with this inking style that I'm trying to find and gather, and she is cool, and I am debating whether or not I should make a print of her and then I've started a Joker to match in case I do decide to do prints of both of them. This is the second for the Monochromatic challenge, and I did Blue from Jurassic World. As you know, I have a video on it, and she was a whole lot of fun. I made her with watercolors and I layered her, and then I went back over her with the Staedtler fine liners, and she took a long time. That's a very long process to paint first and then line again, and like try and find my original intentions with the lines, which is why I want to get my hands on some brush pens that are not going to ruin after I go over them with the watercolor. And I did find a couple, and thank you all so much for the suggestions you gave me, but I think I found my solution for that problem, and then as soon as I can put some money into it, I will be looking into that. But we're gonna be doing some experimenting, you guys and I. But I'm really happy with how she came out. You guys seem to really enjoy her. Everyone on Tumblr and Instagram did. And of course, Blue is the freaking hero of Jurassic World. So I will be making prints of her to bring to Big Bang Bazaar. Here's the Crash Bandicoot, my second pass at him. And while he's not as tight, and he's like kind of a different style, I think I did a better job of conveying Crash here than I did before with his really goofy nature, and I still gave him like a dynamic pose, and like there's more the free-falling Wampa fruits, and it was just colorful and messy and just more akin to Crash, and I think I did better even if it's messy and I didn't use the brush pens. Again, I'm still trying to find the happy medium with the fine liners, which I think looked best as I conveyed it with the Splatoon girl, but still experimenting. This is another part of the Monochromatic challenge, a little bat, and I tried to not even outline it with pen. This I just outlined him or her with the watercolors, and this is all still one color. This is just really light. The pink is pulling up from the watercolor pencil, but this was a whole lot of fun. Painting in Monochromatic is really difficult, and it really challenges you to find your shading, and I mean, it's supposed to help you, but it is really challenging, and I suggest you guys try it out if you get a chance. Here's Gamora. She's also for the Monochromatic challenge. I kind of cheated a little bit and went over her with the pen brush tool, so because I was falling behind because of work and it was hard, and after I did the first couple colors, like my favorite colors, you're kind of like, okay, I'm done with this. But it was a 7-week challenge, and I made a commitment, and I really wanted to finish this. But I'm really happy how she came out. I gave her Peter's his Walkman, and because I can't wait. I really hope that we get to see Gamora dance in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I think that would be really cool. But yeah, I love Gamora, and she's a badass, and I wanted to draw her, and I took advantage of her colors and used her for the Monochromatic challenge. And as you can tell, I did get lazy, and I was like, okay, I just need to finish this challenge because I don't have any time, but I want to move on with my life. But I'm glad I finished it, and I encourage everybody to always do challenges because they are going to be good for you. I did Bullseye based off my little Tsum Tsum of him that I have right here, actually. Here's Bullseye. I love Tsum Tsums. I'm a big nerd, but yeah. So I was like, oh, looking around my room for like something. I was like, oh, what am I gonna draw on? So he was perfect for Monochromatic. And then this is a little Pomeranian. I actually found a picture, I think on Instagram, of a Pomeranian in shades, and I did orange. And I actually tried, once again, painting first and then going back over with the brush pen after, just trying different things and seeing what I like. I really don't like painting first and trying to find my lines later. This is a very sad piece in my Monochromatic challenge. I did a yellow Power Ranger at the request of my friend Liz, and I was really excited and I liked my sketch, but once again I painted first and then went back over with the pen, and I am not happy with this final product, so we're not going to stay on here. Boop. This is an idea that I got while listening to Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult. Originally I had the idea to make the Reaper like this hot rock and roll metal babe, but as you guys know, I am really trying to not go to the default setting of just drawing hot, pretty ladies all the time, because I feel like that's everybody's go-to, and while I understand that they are aesthetically pleasing and I love hot, beautiful, strong women, I think I want to challenge myself to try and make the male figure just as cool and aesthetically pleasing as a woman. And even though I made him a skeleton, whatever. So I went against my original idea, and I wonder if my original idea would have been better as a woman, but I'm still really happy with how he turned out. I love the textures. I used the Tombow brush pen instead of the Pentel pocket brush pen, and I did a lot of cool layering with the watercolors and with the pen, and I really like him. I don't know how everybody else felt about him. He got an average, you know, feedback on Instagram, and nobody really gave a shit on Tumblr, but Tumblr is really hit or miss. I've been having a whole lot of fun hiding my signatures. I put it right here. I don't know if you can see. But trying to incorporate my signature in the piece without ruining it. I'm one of those people who think, like, I want to sign my piece and I want it to be seen, but I don't want to ruin the picture that I just drew. So I've been having fun. So it kind of looks like it's just the detail on his guitar / Seath, but it is actually my signature, ha ha ha. This is from my sketch chat, people portraits, drawing them stylized. I had a whole lot of fun doing that, and I'm really happy with how they came out. And I do need to practice drawing people more, especially figures. This is to show you that not every freaking page in your sketchbook is going to be awesome, and that for whatever reason, the Pilot brush pen bleeds after you go over it, but the Pocket brush pen does not. So I was going to draw Steve and Sam, our two Captain Americas / Falcon, for 4th of July, and they were really cute, and they freaking smeared. Sad face. That's okay, they don't look so hot now that I look at them. Ew, don't look at them. I can do better. It was a warm-up. My shame. But yeah, I'm showing my shame to you guys, so you know that not every page in the sketchbook is awesome and mistakes happen and it's no big deal. This is another attempt at me trying to focus more on original art, and I just had, for whatever reason, like, don't laugh at me, but I was thinking of like Cubone when I thought of this, and I'm like, oh, it'd be really cool if there was this badass cave babe. I had watched The Croods too, and I was experimenting with texture and layering, and everybody really seemed to like her, which was really cool because I was experimenting. But I really like her too, and I think I'm going to make some prints of her to take with me with Big Bang Bazaar. But once again, this is more the brush pen style that I've been falling into, that I'm really enjoying and finding myself in. Oh, and I also, obviously, as you see, I leave my sketch underneath it and it bleeds through a little bit, and you can see it on the sides. Some people might not like that, or they think it's messy. I like it. I like leaving it in as part of my piece. And I think it gives it a little more life and something extra. I don't know, that's my personal opinion on it. I just like it like that. This is this is Tori. I didn't know what to draw last week. I was like really tired. It was late at night and I was Snapchatting Tori, and I was like, I need to draw Tori. Tell me what to draw. And she goes, draw my face. And I put art machine and just art it, and she's like, you know, doing the whole thumbs up strong arm woman thing, and oh my gosh, this, I don't like it anymore. I'm sorry, Tori. She wants me to color this, but I can do better, and I just, no, I will do better. We're not gonna draw on this. This is my lovely space mermaid from my concept to creation video. I spent a lot of time on her, and I'm really happy with how she came out. She's absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. From her color palette to the composition, I learned a lot from the piece, more than anything. And even though she really exhausted me mentally and physically with the process, and I spent a lot of time with her, she was obviously worth it, if not for me to be able to provide you guys with that video, which I'm happy with, but also to provide the learning experience for myself. But yeah, that's what it's all about, guys. Sorry, I am so tired and I am so silly right now. Here's a Kirby, a cute little Kirby. He was a Sketch Dailies prompt. He was actually, I actually drew him, I drew her over the weekend and then I inked her on Monday, and then Tuesday I was like, oh my god, I need to do this mermaid, but I do not want to do her. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I need something so sugary cute and simple, and Sketch Dailies was like, Kirby, and I was like, you read my mind. And once again, this is another thing where I painted him first, and then I went back over him with the Pilot brush because the Pilot brush bleeds, but the Pilot brush is like thicker than the Pentel Pocket brush, which is thinner, and it's more like squishy. So I was trying to find my style with that because Avo Love Teacup Kisses really inspired me to try and find it. I'm really not happy with how I'm working in the Pilot brush pen thus far, but I will find my way, and he's just an experiment, and I like the textures and the colors and the cotton candy pastel vibes that I got with him. He was a lot of fun. And this is the last page in my sketchbook. Once again, it's a Sketch Dailies prompt. You guys can see that Sketch Dailies has been a wonderful source of, you know, practice and prompts for me, and they're a great community. You get to meet other artists through it, and everybody's really nice. And Charmander is one of my favorite Pokemon. He's my favorite starter. I love dinosaurs. I love dragons. I mean, it just ties in, and I needed something cute and simple to come and draw. I drew him at Barnes & Noble, or actually I drew him when I came home from work Friday night, and then I went to Barnes & Noble with my brother Nathan on Saturday, and we sat in the cafe and we drew, and I inked him, or I painted him. I inked him Friday night. I had every intention of finishing him, but like I told you, I haven't been feeling good. But I powered through on Saturday and I finished him, and I love how he turned out. I gave him a cute little pose and tried to make it a little more dynamic and not make my stuff look so blocky or chunk or full, but he came out really cute, and I think I'm gonna make some prints of him too. But he was nice, a nice little nostalgic piece. But that's it. He's the last page in my sketchbook. I can't believe that it's done. I just remember finding the sketchbook and being incredibly blown away with all that it could endure and take, and I thought it was gonna be, you know, not the best, and this is an amazing sketchbook for any kind of media of art that you want to do, and it's not very expensive at all. And I filled it up. This is the first sketchbook that I filled up in a very long time, and I'm incredibly proud of myself and so excited to start the next one and share more art with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas for other sorts of art videos or other things that you would like to see, please let me know what you think in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye-bye!